Greetings, we'll cover a few details about Alexander Fleming and his life in a succinct manner. Here is a short rundown of his early years, education, career, persona, notable works, accolades, legacy, lysozymes discovery, penicillin's discovery, and demise. Sir Alexander Fleming, a Scottish physician and microbiologist, is most known for his discovery of penicillin, the first widely used antibiotic. It is said that his discovery of benzyl penicillin, also known as penicillin G, in 1928 from the mold Penicillium rubens, was the single greatest triumph ever obtained over sickness. Together with Howard Florey and Ernst Boris Chain, he shared the 1945 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for this discovery. Also known as Sir Alexander Fleming, famous as Scottish physician and microbiologist, who discovered penicillin, world's first broadly effective antibiotic substance. Born August 6, 1881, Darvel, United Kingdom. Died March 11, 1955, London, United Kingdom. Father, Hugh Fleming. Mother, Grace Sterling Morton. Siblings, Robert Fleming, Mary Fleming, Thomas Fleming, Grace Fleming, John Fleming, Jane Fleming, Hugh Fleming. Spouses, Sarah, Dr. Amalia Kutsuri-Varikas. Children, Robert Fleming. Education, Imperial College London, Royal Polytechnic Institution, St. Mary's Hospital Medical School. Discoveries, inventions, discovery of penicillin. Works and achievement, discovered enzyme lysozyme and antibiotic penicillin, won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1945. On August 6, 1881, Alexander Fleming was born in Lockfield Farm, Ayrshire, Scotland, United Kingdom. His parents, Hugh Fleming and Grace Sterling Morton, were farmers, second wife of Hugh Fleming. He was only 7 years old when his father passed away from illness. After receiving 2 scholarships for Kilmarnock Academy, Fleming attended Loudon Moor School and Darvel School, before relocating to London at the age of 13 to enroll in the Royal Polytechnic School. To follow in the footsteps of his older brother Tom, he enrolled in St. Mary's Hospital Medical School, Paddington, in 1903 and eventually earned an MBBS in 1906. Before travelling to London to attend the Royal Polytechnic Institution, Fleming attended Loudon Moor School, Darvel School, and Kilmarnock Academy on a 2-year scholarship. After 4 years of employment in a shipping agency, 20-year-old Alexander Fleming received a financial inheritance from his uncle John Fleming. The younger Alexander enrolled at St. Mary's Hospital Medical School in Paddington, a division of Imperial College London, in 1903, after his older brother Tom, who was already a doctor, encouraged him to pursue the same profession. In 1906, he graduated from the school with distinction and an MBBS degree. Fleming had belonged to the medical school's rifle club while serving as a soldier in the London Scottish Regiment of the Volunteer Force from 1900 to 1914. To keep Fleming on the squad, the club's captain proposed that he join St. Mary's Research, where he worked as Sir Omroth Wright's assistant bacteriologist. Wright was a pioneer in vaccine therapy and immunology. He graduated with a BSc in bacteriology and a gold medal in 1908, after which he worked as a lecturer at St. Mary's until 1914. Fleming, a captain by 1917, after being made a lieutenant in 1914, fought in the Royal Army Medical Corps and was mentioned in dispatches throughout World War I. He and a large number of his co-workers worked at the French Western Front's field hospitals. He went back to St. Mary's Hospital in 1918, and in 1928 he was appointed Professor of Bacteriology at the University of London. He was chosen as the University of Edinburgh's rector in 1951, and served in that capacity for 3 years. The antiseptic enzyme lysozyme was discovered in November 1921. It happened when Fleming accidentally dripped some nasal secretions onto a bacteria culture. He blended it and analyzed it for a few days, in an effort to determine its impact on bacterial development, which led to this important discovery for humanity. Studying these bacteria in other bodily fluids, like saliva and tears, allowed researchers to detect the failure of bacterial development, rendering natural protection from a variety of medical conditions. Lysozyme is currently used to treat athlete's foot, cold and throat infections, and as a food preservative. After witnessing numerous soldiers die from sepsis during the Second World War and realizing that antiseptics had a long-term negative impact on the immune system, Fleming became intensely involved in his search for antibacterial agents. Fleming had been deeply involved in studying staphylococci ever since 1927. On September 3, 1928, it was discovered accidentally, when one of his fungus-contaminated staphylococci cultures destroyed every nearby staphylococci culture, while other staphylococci colonies farther away remained healthy. After additional research and testing, he determined that this mold belonged to the Penicillium genus, which inhibited bacterial growth. On March 7, 1929, he officially gave the substance it produced the name penicillin, after first calling it mold juice. Despite having found penicillin, Fleming continued to struggle with stabilizing, purifying, and generating it in huge quantities. He didn't stop testing with penicillin until 1940. Howard Florey and Ernst Boris Chain, at the Radcliffe Infirmary in Oxford, began working on penicillin shortly after Fleming gave up on continuing his research on it with funding from the British and American governments. After the Pearl Harbor disaster, mass production finally began, and since 1944, it has altered the way that infections are treated and controlled on the battlefield. Fleming wed Sarah Marion McElroy, an Irish nurse from Killala in County Mayo, on December 24, 1915. Robert Fleming, their lone child, 1924 to 2015, went on to practice general medicine. Following the 1949 passing of his first spouse, Fleming wed Amalia Koutsouri-Varikas, a Greek co-worker at St. Mary's, on April 9, 1953. She passed away in 1986. While Fleming had a Presbyterian upbringing, his first wife Sarah had been a lapsed Roman Catholic. He is known to have been fairly irreligious, and even though their son Robert was eventually admitted into the Anglican Church, he is said to have inherited this trait from both of his parents. When Fleming learnt that Andrew J. Moyer and Robert D. Coghill had patented the penicillin production process in the U.S. in 1944, he was incensed and said, "I discovered penicillin and have freely distributed it for the good of humanity. Why should it turn into a lucrative monopoly of foreign manufacturers?" In Barton Mills, Suffolk, Fleming owned a country house called the Dun from 1921 until his death in 1955. He came to the opinion that antiseptics, like carbolic acid, boric acid, and hydrogen peroxide, used to treat wounds, do more harm than good, while working in the field hospitals during World War I in 1914. He discovered that they failed to treat deeper wounds, only treating superficial ones. He and Amroth Wright recommended saline water as a therapeutic substitute. The Fleming Museum, a well-liked London attraction, is located in the St. Mary's Hospital laboratory, where Fleming made the discovery of penicillin. In 1988, St. Mary's Hospital Medical School, his alma mater, joined with Imperial College London. The Sir Alexander Fleming Building, which is now one of the primary preclinical teaching locations for the Imperial College School of Medicine, was inaugurated on the South Kensington campus in 1998, and was where his son Robert and his great-granddaughter Claire were presented to the Queen. One of the student residence halls at his second Alma school, the Royal Polytechnic Institution, now the University of Westminster, which is close to Old Street, is named Alexander Fleming House. In 1945, Fleming, Florey, and Chain all shared in the Medical Nobel Prize. A maximum of 3 people may share the prize, according to the regulations of the Nobel Committee. The National Museums of Scotland purchased Fleming's Nobel Prize medal in 1989, and it is now on display following the museum's 2011 reopening. The Pontifical Academy of Sciences included Fleming as a member. In 1943, Fleming was chosen as a Fellow of the Royal Society. Fleming received the Royal College of Surgeons of England's Hunterian Professorship. The United States President presented Fleming with the Medal of Merit. On November 19, 1999, an International Historic Chemical Landmark plaque was built at the Alexander Fleming Laboratory Museum in London in honor of the significance of his work. At least 3 sizable Swedish periodicals selected penicillin as the most significant discovery of the new millennium. As the year 2000 drew near, the Plaza de Toros de las Ventas, Madrid's primary bullring, is surrounded by a statue of Alexander Fleming. It was built to donations from appreciative matadors because penicillin significantly decreased the incidence of fatalities in the bullring. He has a secondary school in Sofia, Bulgaria, named after him. A new series of banknotes featuring Fleming was released by the Clydesdale Bank in the middle of 2009. The £5 note has his likeness. Asteroid 91006 Fleming, which is located in the asteroid belt, bears Fleming's name. The Thessaloniki metro station known as Fleming gets its name from Fleming Street, where it is situated. Northern Peru's Trujillo is home to the British institution, Sir Alexander Fleming College. The University of Edinburgh's Cameron Prize for Therapeutics was given to Fleming and Howard Florey in 1945. The Scottish astronomer Williamina Fleming and astronomer Alexander Fleming are honored by having a crater on the Moon named after them. Fleming suffered a heart attack and passed away at his London home on March 11, 1955. St. Paul's Cathedral is where his ashes are interred.